You know I love pizza, one of my favourite things in the entire world. But when it comes to feeding the entire family, it can get quite expensive. That is, of course, unless you make your own. And I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm also going to make a really healthy pizza using wholemeal flour. Well, what I like to do is use half wholemeal and half plain flour. But the flour I'm using is bread and pizza flour. I find that pizza and bread flour is nice and strong and holds up to making a really nice dough. I put equal quantities, 2 cups of each, into the middle of the deck here. Now you can see I've got the yeast here. I put a sachet of yeast in the bowl with some flour and I put a pinch of sugar in there as well. And you can tell it's activated because it becomes nice and foamy. When the yeast is activated like this, you know your pizza dough is going to rise. Into the middle it goes. Now my pizza dough has a little bit of salt in it and some extra virgin olive oil. A good splush of that. That makes it really tasty. Now the trick with this one is just to add a little bit of water to it. Now this recipe, which has 4 cups of flour in it, takes about 1.5 cups of warm water. I add a little bit of it, get it going, and then add a bit more water as I get going. And that way I don't overdo it and make a sticky dough. This just takes a couple of minutes. I move it around with my fingers to incorporate all that flour. I'm trying to make a nice dough that comes together beautifully. Grab hold of a spatula and that helps you to bring it all into the center. And it also helps you to scrape the bottom of the board so it starts to come together. Now I just knead it here for a couple of minutes till it all comes together, which doesn't take very long at all. You can see it comes together really quickly. Now I've got a bowl here and I just drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil around the outside here. Pop the dough ball into the middle there and cover it with Glad wrap. You want to make sure it's sealed really well. It keeps it nice and moist and stops the outside from becoming crusty. Now all I need to do is pop this into a nice warm place so it proves it'll double in size. This will be fantastic. Or maybe I should just give it a cuddle. That'll keep it warm. Have a look at that, looks fantastic. I'll just peel the Glad wrap off the outside there. Looks beautiful, and it's come up really, really well. Now the reason I put the olive oil on the outside of the bowl is to stop it from sticking. I just want it to come off really, really easily. Now at this stage here, I'll dust the board with just a little bit of flour. That'll stop anything from sticking to the board. You can see a little bit of that olive oil there. That will help with the flavour. Now, a lot of people, when they make a pizza dough, like to hit it with a rolling pin. I don't. I just put a little tiny bit of flour on it and I use my fingers. I find by using my fingers, I stretch it out nice and evenly. And with my fingers, I just go around the edges like this and thin out the crust. I'm going to cook it on a big tray, so I need to make sure that it'll fit. Now this is a big oven tray. I just drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on the outside. That'll make sure that it doesn't stick. And then I just move the tray over like this, pick up the pizza dough, and then straight on there like that. It's as easy as that. And if you've done it properly, it doesn't fold up or stick at all, and you just need to push it into the corners. That looks great and it's ready to go. Now to start it off, I've got some tomato passata here. I just grab a couple of spoons of this and spread it around all the way to the edges. You want to make sure it's got a good base of tomato, and that's what makes it tasty. You can't have pizza without good tomato. Although there are many pizzas that don't have tomato, I don't know, I don't eat them very often. Some cheese on the bottom, a little bit of cheese sprinkled around, and make sure you get it all the way around. You can use whatever cheese you want. This is mozzarella. I like the way mozzarella is really nice and gooey. Now, I like capers on here. And this is the thing with a pizza. You can put whatever sort of toppings you like. Some capers, some olives go on there. Caramelised onions, one of my favourite things in the entire world. There's nothing better than some sweetened caramelised onions. And then the salami. You can use whatever salami you like. For me, my pizza has to have salami on it. Some people like ham, some people like prosciutto. You can put whatever you want on it. But for me, if I ever come around to your place, nice big thick slabs of salami. On it goes. Look, nice and even. Now a few leaves of basil sprinkled around the outside, and that way I get that lovely fresh basil flavour. And then that little bit of cheese that I saved, I just sprinkle a little bit over the top there like that so it melts down on top of that salami. Look at that. That is a great looking pizza. Now, I like to put it into an oven that's very, very hot, about 235 to 240 degrees Celsius. That cooks the bottom of it and makes it nice and puffy. This is going to go into the oven and this will be delicious. Look at that, that's a pizza. That's what I'm talking about. Comes out nice and easily. Now to cut the pizza up, it's really simple. I've got one of these big contraptions here. Cut it all the way through. Look at that, fantastic. Cut a piece off there, and a piece there. That's what pizza should look like. And I reckon if you make it with wholemeal flour, you could probably eat pizza every day of the week. What do you think? How could you not eat it every day?